Well, I've lived here all my life, so it's home for a start. Um, Everyone used to be very friendly and very open and stuff, but obviously, past few years it's become a bit more difficult with just how society is in general. But the thing that's made it easier is probably the people in my life, like my friends and my son. That makes it a lot easier, and my family. But it was a challenge living here. It was such a small town, middle of nowhere, really. Everything bypasses us, so we're kind of just still trying to catch up with the rest of the world, I think. But most of that was just telling people about my story, like the higher up people in our area, like services and people in business, and I think even I think our mayor was there as well. So, and it's quite the project I'm involved with the Poverty Truth Commission. It's quite close to everybody's heart because poverty now has become such a big deal. You know what I mean? Especially around here, when we were growing up, we weren't used to seeing people sleeping out in the streets and struggling as much as they are. Obviously, poverty's always been a thing, but it seems to be more in the open now, and you can physically see it when you're walking down the street or even in town with half of the shops closing and stuff. It's like our town centre is like a ghost centre, a ghost town now, if you know what I mean. So, and more shops are closing down every day. But the event was mostly to let these people know, these higher up people know, that the proper story of people actually struggling and the life that they've had to live and put up with. But even though we've all been through the struggles and all the difficult times that we've been through, there's no like bad blood there. There's no anger either, because everyone that what they went through in life, especially to me, it's just normal everyday life. You know, I think my story, it began obviously when I was a child. Obviously, I didn't realise until later on in life that my family and the way I was brought up was different from everybody else's. I thought it was just normal. But my mum was quite strict, but then she also became very poorly. You know what I mean? I was a carer for my mum from the age of 6. And then my mum ended up taking her life just before I turned 19. So that was quite difficult. But I didn't realise growing up that our family was in the spectrum of poverty. It wasn't until later on, as I got older, I was living by myself and became a mother, that it was quite hard to survive, especially on my own. If it weren't for the local services in our area, like Love Barra Families was a big thing that I got involved in, and that was, we kind of felt safe there, if you know what I mean. We were all going through our own struggles, and it was more like a family, and it was them that kind of helped us move forward. I mean, struggling every day, not being able to put my heating on or we didn't have food banks when my son was younger, so that was more difficult. We didn't have anybody to help with gas or electric, or even have enough money half the time to pay for my rent. So a lot of the time I spent living with my friends or with my family. But I would say it's a lot easier now, but it's also hard at the same time, because I found that a lot more people have become, to put it bluntly, a lot more people have become selfish and very greedy in society, and they kind of forget about the little people. You know what I mean? The ones that are actually, they're just the normal people that end up getting forgotten. And I think I'm kind of one of them people. But as well, all the struggles that I've been through in my life, I've always wanted to help people. So I'm hoping that one day that's what I'll be able to do. That's why I got involved with this Poverty Truth Commission, to hopefully get the word out to people that poverty shouldn't be seen as a stigma anymore or something that be swept under the carpet. It should be for people should know, you know what I mean? It's not always about drugs and alcohol and the stigma attached to that as well. But poverty affects everybody, even the working class. They're struggling at the moment as well. And the more people that know about it, the more people can help change how things are going at the moment, because at the moment it's not going very well, especially with raising tax and gas and electric, and food prices have gone up, and just general way of living is just difficult at the moment. It's difficult to think about things that'll improve my life. I've never really thought about my life as a whole. I'm always thinking about other people. But I have no idea. I think in general, people just need to have more heart and more humanity and listen to people more. I mean, instead of trying to make decisions what they think might be best for other people, they should ask the people what they think is best for themselves, rather than just trying to make up decisions based on what they think that people might want. When we have accessed some services in the past, if you know what I mean, some people can be very judgmental and blame a lot of stuff on the past. Yeah, I could say that a lot of people's pasts are difficult, but it's the now that's the problem, if you know what I mean. It's not always the past that defines who you are as a person, if you know what I mean. Only the person yourself can change that, but people try to change that by going to certain services, but it still doesn't help the situation. I mean, you can go to a food bank, which will help maybe for about a week, and then what you're going to do for the rest of the time after that, you're still in that situation. Like, once you get to the point where you're stuck and you don't see a way out, it's hard to see any kind of silver lining or light at the end of the tunnel. But I think that services in general, I think, need to just be more welcoming, I think, and more understanding, rather than sounding like a robot, like everyone's programmed to say the same thing over and over again. Everybody's unique, everyone's different, and you can't deal with one person the same way you dealt with the last person. And I think some people, instead of advice, need actual physical help, if you know what I mean, especially when it comes to like social services. I didn't have a really good background with social services, but I came out on top, which was a good thing. But social services and even mental health places, they need to be more understanding of people's situations. And instead of just giving them advice or showing them which service they need to go to, physically help them, take them there, if you know what I mean. Somebody might need help with a bit of shopping and struggling to get home. Give them a lift, you know what I mean. Not everyone can afford a taxi, especially nowadays with the price of petrol. So yeah, a little more understanding, a bit more humanity would be a good way to go. That would help a lot. You know what I mean? A lot more compassion. Used to be able to go to neighbours and ask for maybe a cup of, or an extra bit of sugar. Now you can't do that anymore, because it's like every man for themselves nowadays. It's like dog eat dog out there, and it can be quite vicious. There's not a lot of people know about the services that are available to them. So I've been getting the word out to people that need these services a lot more would help, even if it comes to like flyers through the door or something, so they know that these services exist. A lot of people are stuck inside their houses and don't go out at all, so they won't have a clue about all these services that are available. Especially as well, everything's quite computerized nowadays, and the older generation don't know what they're doing when it comes to computers, and they probably don't even know how to pick up a phone, half of them. So I think as well, like door-to-door stuff would also be good, you know what I mean? They might hear of somebody, a service might hear that somebody's struggling, but they can't do anything until that person actually calls. Just go around and knock on the door, give them a chat, see if they need any help or something. And I think that would go a long way. And the fact that I think just people need more stuff to do as well, especially in this area. We're a small town, but there's not a lot of stuff to do here. I mean, we're a historical town. We've got the Dock Museum and we've got Furness Abbey, and it's all good. It's history, if you know what I mean. But we're very short on stuff to do here, especially with the adolescents and stuff. They have nothing to do. And I think a bit of investment in stuff to do for them, like, if you know what I mean, like small fairgrounds or arcades or something like that. I think that would be a good thing to do. So we know, at least that then we'll know where all our kids are doing the arcades. That would be a good thing to do.